The last thing that we have to talk about in this section is the special properties of rhombuses. And these special properties are important when we're making the constructions of perpendicular bisectors and angle bisectors, as we have been doing. These special properties of rhombuses are what allow us to make those constructions. So I just want to explicitly highlight some of the special properties of rhombuses and how they connect to our constructions. So first of all sides of a rhombus are the same length by definition. So you can see down here in my little diagram that each of the sides of each of these rhombuses has a little hash mark. And that hash mark, as we've seen before, mean that the sides are congruent to each other. And so that is a characteristic of rhombuses. All of the sides are going to be congruent. Another property of rhombuses is that the diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular. And that's what helped us to construct our perpendicular bisector, knowing that rhombuses have that property. And you can see in the diagram that we have these little square symbols in the center showing that the angles created by the diagonals of the rhombus are perpendicular to each other. Another property of rhombuses is that the diagonals bisect each other. So here again, we saw this when we constructed a perpendicular bisector, that we could then construct a rhombus from it. And so this special property, of rhombuses helps us when we are constructing our perpendicular bisector. Fourth, the diagonals of a rhombus bisect the rhombus's angles. And here's where our angle bisectors come in, right? So when we constructed our angle bisector, we were actually constructing a rhombus again. And you can see here that in this corner, in this angle of the rhombus, that this angle, the two sides of the angle are congruent. And here in this angle, the two sides of the angle are congruent. So the diagonals of the rhombus are bisecting the rhombus's angles. And then finally, the opposite sides of a rhombus are parallel. So what that is saying is that, let me find another color. I'll use orange this time. So this side of the rhombus is parallel to this side. And then changing colors, that means that this side of the rhombus is parallel to this side. So these are some special properties of rhombuses, and other quadrilaterals do not have, they may have some of these properties, but they do not have all of these special properties of rhombuses.